Right, welcome back. Moving swiftly on with the next build, I'm going to take a bit of a break from the rally cars, to be honest. The next kit, I don't think it's going to take too long, to be honest. And this is one of two kits that my kids bought me for Father's Day last year. I didn't really want nothing for Father's Day, but my kids being, all grown up now, 26 and 24, they decided to really go out last year for Father's Day. I can't wait for you to see the next kit, to be honest, after this one. So here's the next build. Going over to my table, it is the TIE Fighter from the original Star Wars films. Box art's pretty nice, quite shiny actually. That's what it could look like when it's finished. Not too bad box art, to be honest. Oh, it's got Revell on there. I never noticed that before. Even though it does say Bandai. Right, moving the box out of the way. There's a couple of fair work of plastic, to be honest. You've got like the main, I don't know what to describe that as, to be honest. The main cockpit ball, as it were. You've got some clear parts in there as well. Going to the other side. You've got the main housing of the cockpit that with the arms on. You've got the two wing inserts. Them don't look too bad detailing. And you've actually got the wing frames themselves. Them look like stickers, I think. You get stickers or decals. Then you've got some stand parts and some laser parts. I don't know where the stickers are actually. The decals are, oh, they're the decals. In with the wing inserts. Going over to the instructions. Looks fairly straightforward, even though it's took me straight to step 8. So, not too bad. Like I say, it's all going to be snap tight. I don't think it's going to be a glue required. And then you've got some decal placements. And that's pretty much it. Now, where's the pilot? Right, there's the pilot there. You can see how quite small he is because he's not much bigger than my thumb. So that's the little mini kit review done. And with that being said, it's time to get cracking on. Alright, I started work on the TIE Fighter, mainly on the cockpit interior and the pilot. Now the pilot is black plastic, and he has got some detail on him if I can just zoom in. Now taking a tip off of Patrick Coraline off YouTube on his TIE Fighter build, I've dry brushed a bit of silver on his space, on his pressure suit. You've got like a bit on his helmet, very, very tiny bit. But it's mainly on his oxygen tubes off his pressure suit apparatus, around his waist, a bit around his legs as well, and his boots. There's also two decals on there which are 33. There's one there and there's one there. Applied those with the microset, let those dry. A couple of applications of the microsol. But the silver really brings out that detail on his chest and his pressure suit. So zooming back out, you've got the interior of the cockpit, and you can see all these little black triangular panel decals. I'm assuming them control panels, and you can see off my decal sheet all the little triangular shapes. Now on the guide, so like I said, 1.1. I put the seats and the pilot into the bottom of the base, but with the decals, you've got 4 on the one part of the interior, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 on the other part of the interior. So there's the 4 and there's the 10. Very, 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 very fiddly indeed, but I got there in the end. Microsol. I've still got to seal these. At the back you got like a little control panels. I've just dry brushed those in a bit of black to bring out the detail, again with a little tip from Patrick. So all I've got to do now is just seal these, the helmet decals and those decals. While I'm waiting for those decals to dry, because I've just sealed those with a clear gloss, I'm going to skip a few steps and I'm going to start work on the wings. Now the wing on step 5, it's got F2 for the inner piece, and then you've got an E12 for the spine piece on the one side and the E23 for the spine piece on the other side. There's little holes and little connectors in each of the spines, so they interlock on the inside. There's holes and they interlock with each other. So that's them. Now, on the outer edge of each wing, you've got the outer spines. So there it is on the plan. So you've got like 4 B1s and 2 B8s. I've already put the 1 B8 in the top, and there's a little groove inside there, and that locks onto those little lips on the outside of the inner wing. So on step 5, I've just got to put all the rest of the 1s and the other 8 on. Right, so here's my completed wing as in step 5. It only took a few minutes. So you've got the 2 8s and then you've got the 4 B1s. All you do is just push them on. There's like a little triangular edge underneath there, and that locks into the little edge there. They feel quite loose going on, but I think once they've locked into place, they're not easy removable, because I was pondering whether to put some glue on. So that's the first wing done in step 5. Alright, another couple of minutes work, say about 8 to 10 minutes. Cutting them off a sprue, sanding the little bits of excess sprue off that haven't nipped off slightly. So step 6, like I said, rinse and repeat. You've got the inner part of the wing, then you've got the star spines, both sides that interlock through the middle of the wing. And then you've got the spine edges again with the 2 B8s and the 4 B1s. So that's me 2 wings done. Right, the decals are now dry now, after I clear gloss them. I've put the hand controls, which are... What's the controls? You've got the top piece, which is A213, and the bottom piece, which is A214. So them just rests on top of his hands, and those snap into there. Now what I've done is I've got a 10p piece for scale, so you can see how small the actual interior cockpit is going to be. So now the decals are dried and that's all on, I can now shut up shop with the 2 parts of the interior cockpit and the 2 parts of the cockpit ball, as it were. Right, I've now shut up shop on the cockpit ball. You can just about see the pilot in there. So you've got the 2 halves of the main ball, which are the front piece, which is A211, and then you've got A210 for the rear piece. So you just snap those into place. There's a little mounting peg here on the back, and there's one pointing upright. So those have got to go into the back of A210 with one there and one up there. Once you've aligned those, then you can put A11 in, which mounts with just these 2 holes here onto those pegs there. One there and one there. So there's the 2 holes and the 2 pegs. And then last but not least, you've got B5, which is the underneath plate. And you've got all that lovely detail. So hopefully when I start painting this in final construction, I can pick that detail out. But pilot's in there now. Right, I'm on step 2 now. Now step 1's all finished. Step 2 is putting the step 1 cockpit ball into the outer parts of the main hull. So what you want to do is you want to put the ball into B6 first, as it says there. And now on the back of the ball, for the cockpit ball for number 1, you've got 3 pins, 1, 2 and 3 in that triangular shape. But it was very, very difficult to get those pins to line up and snap into place. Eventually I must have like jiggled it a bit, as Arkwright would say, and eventually they're locked into place with a big loud snap. Once that was done, then it's telling you on step 2, or the order of assembly in step 2, which is B7, which is the front part of the outer hull. And basically what you do is you just line the pins up there and line the pins up there to the inside of the front part, and again that was very difficult to get those to lock into place, and a very loud snap. Once I got them locked into place, I had a little bit of a gap on the arms here. So what I did is I got my pressure clamp and just prise those apart slightly, and then just put them there on the arms, both sides, just to give it that bit of extra pressure to lock that last bit into place, and then on the middle. And then I've done that, the gap has disappeared. But that was very, very difficult indeed, and very, very tight fit. That's what I went to say. A very, very tight fit. But once you hear that loud snap, it's in. Right, I've done a bit more construction, putting a few ancillary parts on now. You've got the 2 guns, there's a few bits and bobs to the hull that just clip into the side. At the moment I'm going with the clear parts for the roof and the front main window, because I'm thinking about dust wise, but looking ahead into the plans, those are going to be covered up with some decals, so we'll see how those sit. I've got some decals around the edge, circular bit, and then the inside for the clear parts, like the 5-point star, so them are decals. I've got 2 guns that have clicked into the bottom of there. I've got a cap that twists out, a little cap end, that's for the base, so at least I can take that off and put some detailing on there. I'm now putting the wings on now. So I've got the one side of the wing in, which was step 5. This one's step 6. Now on here you've got like a little push, like a H-shaped clip, which goes into that H-shaped mount. So on that side you plug that in there. It tells you that's the front way to put it on, so you won't get confused. So I've got that one in there. I've just pushed that one into place. Very, very easy. So I've just got to push this step 6 wing in now into that little hole there. Right, welcome back. I'm now looking at the 2 pieces that go on the front of the TIE Fighter, which is the main screen, windscreen as you might call it, and the roof hatch. Now on the plans it tells you you can use A2, which is going to be the grey part, so you got the front screen, which is A216, and the roof hatch, which is going to be A27. And it also gives you the option of using the clear part, which is G2 for the screen and G1 for the roof hatch. Now here's my A parts and here's my G parts. Now on the G parts it's telling you to put a decal on. So you've got the roof hatch, you've got like a decal on the front here, and then you've got the one where it encompasses the clear window strips there. And on the front windscreen you've got the decal that goes on the framework of the inner frame of the windscreen, and then you've got a semicircle decal on the top there and a semicircle decal on the bottom. The only problem being I've applied 4 coats of microsol to these decals and they just won't settle. Now the inner framework on the windscreen, them ones have settled quite well. I just can't get the outer ring decals to settle 100%. Same as on the roof hatch, you just won't have it. So what I'm going to do is I just thought I'd show you the options that you've got. But I just don't understand the microsol in these decals. They just don't set 100%. I can't, you know, they just won't suck in fully to the raised bits. So I'm going to have to use the A2 parts. It's a shame. I just thought I'd show you the options. Welcome back. It's finale time on the TIE Fighter of what has been a relatively quick build. So here's the final reveal. Well, there it is, all finished. I'll just turn my flash on because there ain't much sunlight coming through the window this morning. There we go. So when I'd left you, I was just pondering, you know, your options for the grey frame, non-windowless options of the cockpit roof hatch and the windscreen to the clear parts. So again, I went with the non-windowed ones, the frame ones. So what I did is I removed the wings and then just went to town with the black wash on the inside and on the outside. Now I'm going to zoom in slightly so you can see how it's brought out the detail. The wash has been absolutely fantastic with all this lovely detail. You can see on there as well, on the outer framework and that, and on the inner framework. So I'll zoom back out. So that's the wings. Now on the main body itself, I did put a couple of decals on. Let's see if the camera will pick it up if I zoom in. So you've got one decal there, the zoom's picking it up. You've got one in this 3-line decal here. There's a couple on the underneath. Some on the bottom piece there. But you won't make it out because it's underneath. And then you've got like two little squares, sorry, two little triangles underneath the guns. And I just microsol those clear gloss and then just went to town with the wash. And you can see some the way the wash has brought out the details. You can simulate some damage as well, not too heavy. So zoom back out again. And then turning this round. And I'll zoom in again on that front, because behind the, you know, the windscreen part, you've got like this fascia here with all that detail just in front of the cockpit. So I took the actual A piece out and just went to town with the wash on that. Now the only trouble is with the wash, on the smooth surfaces, the wash doesn't want to stick. It's like when you're cleaning your windows and it looks like the water's evaporating. So I had to leave it for a couple of minutes between each coat to get it to stick, and it took about 4 to 5 coats in the end. Once it started to stick, then I just removed the excess with my paper towel. And it, like I said, it's brought out some of that lovely detail. It's not too heavy. You know, some of you might think it's too heavy, but I don't think it's heavy at all. Now you've got the guns. It tells you to paint the tips in silver and then paint some clear orange. So I used my Tamiya clear orange on that, and it's brought out those guns really, really nice. And in the tips of the guns, there's tiny, tiny holes. I'll zoom back out again, where you can mount your clear green laser parts. And you just push those into place, and that's it. Just black wash. Now you've got the marking decals. I didn't bother with those because some of those were really tiny. I just went with the wash. And then I just mounted it onto the base. Now you just put the neck of the base into there. There's like a movable joint, and you plug that into the bottom of the TIE Fighter. I haven't bothered doing anything with this because eventually I'm going to hang this up. But there it is, all finished. Just black wash, that's it. So I better turn the flash off so I don't blind myself. So there it is, all finished. I'll put some stills on at the end of this video. And I'll see you fairly soon with the next build. Thank you very much for watching.